Arrival of a Biden administration, I think, has implications globally because the first thing will happen is Biden will bring America quite rightly back into the Paris Agreement to join the French and the Chinese, the British, and other global leading countries to say we're committed to ensure that the world avoids falling off the climate cliff. That's the first and most important. It's a statement of intent by this administration. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we'll begin to look at the great history of American industrialization and actually say, how can we capture that for growth and new green technologies in key parts of the US economy? And Tesla is an obvious example of this. The automotive industry more broadly is an example of this, and the technology sectors. Is all of this can be harnessed for cleaner energy systems. Solar is actually very closely associated, obviously, with the electronics industry. These are all areas where the US could be, again, a global leader. And I think Biden recognizes this. It will need some form of stimulus, but it's a stimulus that's going to create jobs. It's going to be energy efficiency systems. It's going to be conservation in the home. So there's the concept of fuel poverty, which is where people pay a high proportion of their income keeping their homes warm. And by putting in place simple things like insulation, it's another way of creating building jobs. So there's lots of opportunities in the green recovery. That's the second thing that we expect. And then the third thing is alignment of financial markets. In the same way globally that in London today, we have a summit that's been running over 2 or 3 days of political leaders and business leaders and financial leaders explaining how they're going to go about aligning the insurance sector and the pension fund sector with climate goals. I think the third thing will happen in the US is exactly the same. They'll bring SEC regulations around transparency, around disclosure. They'll encourage the banks to decarbonize and to harmonize their lending with climate goals. And this is the third important thing I think will happen under this forthcoming Biden administration.